Dice Company contains fantasy violence, mature themes, and unapologetic bickering. No feelings were hurt in the making of it, but listener discretion is advised. Dice Company will always be free, but it's not free to make. Please consider supporting us on Patreon or Apple Podcasts and get access to our weekly roundtable show Extra Roll. Just follow any of the links in the show notes for this chapter.
A large man rushes along the cobbled streets of Frost Hollow, moving too fast for the early morning. His pace draws glances from traders setting up their stalls, but his bulk keeps them from saying anything. He is dirty, covered head to toe in mud and something black that may be oil, and he's sweating hard in the chilly air.
"Can you help me?"
he says, trying to conceal his breathlessness. He's addressing two men in blue cloaks, the city's watchmen, but they're used to being accosted by mad vagrants. "Go sleep it off in a ditch, or find a bed if you can afford one." The other laughs, but he looks nervous. The man before them isn't just huge. His muscles fit him well, ripping under the skin with the easy grace of a predator.
"I'm not drunk,"
the man insists.
"I need to raise an army. We saw dead men walking. We have to do something."
The bolder blue cloak snorts. "Get yourself to bed, or we'll find you a cell." He draws a club. His companion does the same, clearly uneasy. The big man shakes his head, exasperated, but he knows his story is ridiculous. Impossible.
"Fine,"
he says, and hurries on. The whole street watches until the bolder blue cloak glares around, telling everyone to mind their own business. They oblige. Around the next corner, the big man sees a group of rough-looking men at the tavern door. Whether they are arriving or leaving, he doesn't know, and he's not sure which would be better. Men wild on a night's drink, or thirsty souls ready for action. He tries, once again, trying to submerge his panic.
"Gents, I need some help."
"Do you now?" says one. "And why would we help you?" The big man starts to explain, but he sees at once that it's hopeless. Before he finishes, he spots a knife emerging from a sleeve. The men subtly separate, fanning out around him. These are men used to fighting, not soldiers. They fight in alleys, alone in small groups, and always to the death. They would be useful, but he sees they won't help.
"Forget it,"
he says. He's not afraid. He might best them, even so many, but this is not his fight. Not today.
"You might live to regret it."
He jogs onwards, chased only by muttered threats. He pauses a little way along the road, hands on his knees, chest heaving. He knows he needs a better strategy, but after the night he's had, nothing presents itself. He slows his breathing, trying to crush his haste, cool his mind. In this quiet moment, he hears a soft thump from a nearby alleyway. It sounds like a body hitting the cobbles. Two more. That same sound. Are the dead already loose in the streets? He hears low voices, confused, panic still threatening to overwhelm him. He steps into the alley. Welcome one and all to Dice Company's Small Embers Chapter 64, where a group of friends weave tales of triumph, heroism and despair under the guise of playing Dungeons & Dragons. My name is Tom and I'll be your DM through the continuing adventures of this group of powerful artifact-wielding revengers. Powerful artifact-wielding revengers, please introduce yourselves and tell us one fun fact about your characters.
I'm not sure about the term revengers.
It's like Avengers, you see, but it's revenge. Because in case you didn't get it.
No, I got it.
But you look confused. I don't. What's the problem?
When did we stop being old friends and just being friends?
When we became young again. It's like a cycle. When we became unable to accept our age.
We're Benjamin Buttoning this bitch.
Right. That was very popular, wasn't it? That's a good idea.
Soon we'll be acquaintances and finally we won't know each other then.
It's a reference for the teenagers.
Hi, I'm Harry and I play Tock, an imposing 6'8" automaton. and Tock has a heartwarming story of his childhood. In the first year of Tock's awareness, there was an encounter with a large ruminant animal of indeterminate classification. A rudimentary threat prediction subroutine activated, indicating potential harm. This resulted in an emotional state analogous to the human feeling of fear or alarm. Tick proceeded to inform Tock that the creature did not pose any danger, and Tock updated the threat prediction subroutine accordingly.
I knew it was going to be heartwarming when he said it was going to be heartwarming.
I mean, it's only really a childhood story in the sense that Tock was technically a child when this took place. I mean, you called it his awareness or his awakening.
Look, isn't that how you talked about your childhood?
How old is Tock now? Like 7?
Don't look at me. I don't know.
I think I said 8, didn't I?
You said 12 at one point.
I did, and then I changed it, ruining all of your backstory.
Correct.
8.
8. There we are.
Maybe.
Cool. Lovely. Thank you.
Heartwarming. Agreed.
Hello, I'm Dave, and I play Petren Oakflower. It's only been a few days since Petren left his peaceful grove and re-entered civilization. And according to my calculations, in those few short days, Petren has, what's the word I'm looking for?
Revenger?
No. No. Like, what's talked to? What's the better term for talked to?
Do you know why you weren't looking for...
Interacted.
Yes.
Yes. Petren has interacted with 10 people, of which 4 people have either been murdered or are thought to have been murdered. That is 40% of the people that Petren has met. He's not seen people for like 10 years, and now he's started to see people, and they're all dying horribly. Petren thinks maybe he's in a little bit over his head.
To say, is he like aware that this is unusual, or is he just taking it as a new normal?
The new normal.
The brave new world we live in.
Might give him a complex. Do you think you're like the angel of death?
Well, now, yeah.
Vander's
Back to the
immediately
grove.
envious.
My title.
Yeah, I'd kill for that kind of stat. No? Yeah, awful. Hi, I'm Charlie, and I play Vander Finnick.
The Admiral of Death.
The Lord High Death Angel. Vander has faced an unusual moment of uncertainty. He tells himself that Petren's spellcasting gave Augustus the peace he would have wanted, but he also knows how valuable a vampire ally would have been. Beneath it all, though, lies an even deeper part of Vander, where worldly reason finally gives way to something approaching feeling, and in that almost forgotten place, Vander simply misses his friend and feels a true keening grief. He reflects as to how he might cope, and the answer, as ever, presents itself. A lot of people are going to have to die to close this wound.
Kind of ties in with Petren's fact there, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Going to get that work on that 40%.
Would Petren have realised that healing required mass sacrifice?
No,
the druid
no,
way.
he would not.
The druid. What a druid.
What a druid.
What's the next bit?
I was going to say we could say what a wizard for Vander, but no one's really sure what he is. So
No, we usually go to Augustus at this point.
Don't forget to check out the Discord channel, our Patreon, and follow us on social media if you don't already. Al does an absolutely amazing job there, even when he's, dead and not actually part of the podcast.
fans should listen to the new podcast episode, Around the Campfire.
And please remember, if you gaze too long into the abyss gazes into you. So let's turn the page on the next chapter of Small Embers. Previously on Small Embers. Following Augustus's death, you guys stood vigil over your fallen companion in the Temple of Tyr before heading over to the Temple of Isidore and were met with the scene of a massacre. Moving swiftly and stealthily through town, you arrived at the entrance to the old dwarven mining area on the mountain of Everfrost, and your planned meeting with a Willie and the Knife. Finding the note he left led you into the entrance, and carefully avoiding traps and passing the corpses of enemies, you found the antechamber and the remains of an old ritual. Finding what you believe to be the remains of a William in the centre, Tock was able to excavate a small area and pulled out the Dark Blade, which imbued him with new power, as down the corridor to the north came the sound of screaming and rushing wind. Darkness fills the antechamber as the swirling tempest of wind batters Tock from side to side. Through the northern entrance, a crackling cloud filled with blue sparks of lightning careens towards you. It splits into three as two figures form, one to the left and one to your right. Both are spectral, nightmarish, warped creatures made of constantly twisting smoke. Behind them, a violent tornado of smoke rages, taking the form of a large predator's head, which watches intently. Roll for initiative.
Oh, God.
Wow.
Okay.
I was about to say, we negotiate.
You guys and your combat avoidance techniques will not work here.
7.
7.
20. That's right, people.
Oh my.
I don't know about you guys, but I was suspecting something like this. Why were you so slow off the mark?
Tock was a bit off-put by the whole swirling sword from the stone kind of thing. I think it means he's going to be a king, or maybe, I don't know.
He needs a crown first.
Vander's carrying it from.
I've never fought with Petren. I don't really know what to do.
That is what your teammates want to hear at this point, I'm sure.
Quick team talk. Petren, 40% of the people who ever met are dead because of you. You can do this.
Who has the higher dexterity between Tock and Petren, please?
Tock's dexterity is 2.
Same, yeah.
Number?
15.
Tock's is 14, because I'm efficient with my stat attributes.
And it has cost you in this.
I'm happy for Petren to go first.
Oh, what a sweetheart. See? That's why people love him. All right, we are at the top of the round with Vander.
Okay, so we're assuming mass hostility here. You guys, Tock and Tick, you are really up front here.
As usual.
Well, I don't know if there's anything I can do to help you.
As usual. There's a rock you could hide behind around here.
That is not the motivation I need, okay?
We can call it the Cowering Rock.
Oh, I'm so not helping you now. Okay, so these two, Dom, these two sentinels are crackling blue light.
They seem to be made of a strange, twisting, smoke-like structure. You don't recognize it.
Okay, I've never met them, but Vander knows something of electricity, and if I connect the two, will they short-circuit each other?
He doesn't know that much about electricity, does he?
No, clearly.
Dan, my arts major. Okay, been that plan. Okay, I'm going to get to Coward's Rock, and then I am going to reach around, and
The rock has no feelings.
you guys are really fucking with my turn. Okay, so and then I am going to launch Fireball. Dead center between the three enemies. Let's do some damage.
That's Vander's negotiation roll.
So it's a +3. What is the spell save DC, please, Mr. Vander Finnick?
16 is my spell save.
The first one fails, the second one succeeds, and the big predator-like head, natural 1 for a fail.
Difficult for a giant smoke head to dodge.
Okay, that's 8d6.
Ooh, delicious.
So that is 40. Absolutely dealing there. Vander shambles forward, seeing the danger, and gets to what Harry has lovingly called Coward's Rock. As he gets there and leaning one hand against the rock, he leans round and casts Fireball directly into the center of the three enemies. With a massive explosion, fire erupts and catches both the looming head and one of the sentinels in the flames.
So one of them is able to move quickly and avoid half of the damage. The big predator head, however, remains sentinel, watching the events.
Oh, he didn't look damaged.
Not the big one, nope.
Ruh-roh.
Tock, on your guard!
And now it is the creature's turn. They shamble forward into direct combat with Tock and Tick. The first of the creatures opens a strange, swirling maw-like mouth and lets out a howling babble. Can all three of you please do a DC 14 Wisdom saving throw?
That's a 16 for Petren.
It's a success.
Yes! 21.
Tock is going to use his incredible genius to add a +5 to his wisdom saving roll,
Nice.
but it's still not great. That'd be a 14.
Beats it. As a success.
Oh.
Nicely done. Can everyone please take 3 psychic damage
No, that was anticlimactic.
as the howl rings out, but you don't seem that bothered by it.
Ah, it is off key.
Me mo mame, me moo mamu.
We've heard battle bagpipes. This shit's nothing to us.
The second creature, seeing the failure of the first, opens its mouth and strange whispers seem to come out. Can I have wisdom saving throws, DC 14 from all three of you, please?
Nat 20 for 28.
23 for Petren.
And a 7 for Tock.
Petren and Vander, please take 4 psychic damage, and Tock, please take 8 psychic damage.
Difficult to resist psychic damage.
There is a chance that this is not a well-balanced encounter. Petren!
Uh-oh.
In a good way or a bad way?
Not a good way for the DM.
Petren is going to begin by advancing towards danger and then realizing that he's not going to be able to get into combat with the creatures. He is going to cast Conjure Animal.
And what animal are you conjuring?
I am conjuring a pack of wolves.
Jesus.
Not the hated badger.
So where are you placing this pack of wolves?
So I'm gonna place them in the middle behind the 2 creatures. Yeah, Petren moves forward as far as he can, but then realizing that he's not going to be able to get into combat with the creatures, he pauses and pulls out his quarterstaff, draws himself up to his full height, and mumbling something, scratches into the dirt floor below him. And seconds after that happening, you see appearing behind the creatures is this weird spectral pack of wolves who instantly launch an attack from behind.
Marvellous. Here we go. That would be a pass and a pass. Creatures seem unaffected by the sudden emergence of a pack of wild wolves.
Very inaccurate pack of wild wolves, I guess.
Next up is Tock and Tick.
Which actually reminds me that I was meant to ask you what the Dark Blade did, and I never did during the week. What exactly does it do?
The Dark Blade is a +2 longsword,
Okay.
which ignores any invulnerabilities or resistances to any types of damage.
Awesome.
And being that it's an Alokian benediction as well, as you level up, the sword itself gets stronger with you as well.
Tock pauses briefly, surprised slightly by a pack of spectral wolves that have appeared behind his attackers. Tick, however, doesn't pause at all and reaches over and draws Tock's longsword that is sitting in his scabbard. The blade sort of glows brightly for 30 feet and dimly for 30 further feet. And both of them move to attack. Tock's first attack is a 17 for 12 damage.
Very nice, very nice. You slash through.
His second attack is a 23 for the 8 damage.
Oh, so a total of 20 damage.
Indeed. And then Tick attacks as well. And it will be... Tick's attack is a 20. Not natural, unfortunately. And it does an amount of damage that I'll need to calculate myself because 1d8 plus 4. It does 6 slashing damage.
Tell us a story.
Noticing that the creature is severely burned across its sort of like across its skin, Tick stabs it in the chest and Tock cuts its head off.
And the remains of the creature hit the ground and explode into a puff of smoke. The remaining creature looks at its fallen comrade and then looks back at Tock and Tick and opens its maw and lets out a scream.
No more wisdom checks, hopefully. Yeah, Tock and Tick will move to face and the other creature in a guard position, as Vander instructed.
Cool. Back to the top of the round with Vander.
Now time to expose my ruse de guerre, because Vander scuttles away from Coward's Rock, which happens to be exactly 30 feet from where Vander really wants to be, which is Coward's Rock 2, Vander's real objective. And he casts Lightning Bolt. That's a dex save for you.
That's a 4 for failure.
Ouch. Okay, let's see how ouch. That is a 36 damage.
36 off of 8d6.
Yeah, it's 2 monster rolls, isn't it?
Vander, please tell us a story.
Vander deathly scuttles from behind the Coward's Rock and makes his way up to perfectly beside where Tock and Tick fight. Once there, he turns and extends one gnarled hand. Lightning shoots from the hand directly in front of where Tick and Tock's swords are slashing down on the other foe, striking its comrade squarely in the chest.
Alarm!
Blue ripples of lightning meet the lightning already emanating from the creature, and it just flashes out in a puff of smoke. You can short-circuit them.
Beautiful work.
End of my turn, and I retire my shirt.
The shadow of the large head, having watched the combat, begins to move slowly towards you. The mouth opens, and through it steps a small human child. She has blonde hair in a side plait and is wearing a glistening set of full plate armor.
Unexpected, says Vander, straightening.
She, carrying any faces or anything?
Oh, fuck.
Recognise that one, do you there, Charlie?
Stay on your guard, boys. Vander's hands are very much up still.
Vander, it appears to be a small human child in armor. This is unusual, is it not?
It is most unusual, Tock. Usually, this would indicate danger.
She walks slowly between you. Oh, you've drawn the sword. Well done. That was the blade gifted to my father in pursuit of freedom. You must be very powerful.
Tock and Tick are going to move backwards so that she is not between all of us. In fact, Tick is going to move to stand near Vander, and Tock is going to move to stand near Petren. Unless she's going to stop us.
Nope, she's not going to stop you. I see you defeated my 2 guardians. Very good.
Yes, indeed. We were not aware, of course, that they were guarding one such as yourself. Tell me, though, girl, who is your father?
My father is Valak Storm, the necromancer of Thistleton. I am Alexa. It is a pleasure to meet you.
A pleasure to meet you also, Alexa. I trust you do not intend any untoward behavior now the fighting has ceased.
What kind of untoward behavior are you talking about? I'm just a small child, as you can see.
I very much doubt that. I was talking of a behavior of a violent kind.
There are many corpses on the floor surrounding the chamber. Query: does the name Storm refer to the Storm's Fall ribbon?
That's the event that happened when my father lost his life. A tragic day for all of mankind, I would say.
But what's happened to you? Have you been trapped down here? Were you a prisoner of these things? You okay?
For many years I've been banished to this place, buried beneath the great mountain along with the remnants of my father's work. There is a black-hearted presence in the city, Wolf Eriksson. He is the one who put me here.
Wolf's our enemy as well. Perhaps we can rescue you. We can get you out of here.
Not so fast, Petren. Too many years to remain a girl, I think.
I don't know what you mean, Vander.
Petren, the Storm's Fall ribbon was many decades ago.
You mean the event that led to... He's right. Are you a human? You a human child?
I was at one point, but something about the ward which keeps me here has maintained my youth. At least I think it has. There are no mirrors down here.
How old does she appear to be?
About 12.
You appear to be a human child, under the age of 20.
I imagine many years' solitude does things to one's mind.
What's that supposed to mean?
Vander glances and smiles quickly at Petren before returning to the girl.
It means that while we may appear to be facing a girl, we are simply facing something wearing a girl's face. Tell me, Alexa, how did you survive where there is no food to eat nor water to drink?
My father made sure that I never had to worry about such basic human needs. There were many experiments throughout the years, but he has made me stronger. He really was a great man. I miss him terribly.
I'm sure you do.
Query. It appears the ritual of ascension was attempted within this chamber. Was that the cause of the Storm's Fall ribbon?
Ah, you are aware of the history.
I am aware of much.
Well, that makes this conversation a lot easier. You call it the ritual of ascension. That is accurate. Although, do not get the idea that my father was seeking power. He was seeking freedom. He always said that freedom from love was the greatest freedom available to us mortals. So no matter the story of our lives, if you can free yourself from love, you can achieve anything. It's what led him down this path of salvation. Without his drive and determination, you would not have the strength available to you that you do now. No one would. In many ways, the world owes my father a great debt. One which it is only able to repay because of he sacrificed his love. His love for my mother and his love for me, and eventually his love for himself. He was just trying to take the power hoarded by the gods and redistribute it to the people. And what does he receive for his noble work? Obliteration. Every part of him scattered into the endless void of existence. There is no justice.
Query. Is the power afforded to the Rojan stolen from the gods?
I do not know the term Rojan.
Users of magic, wielders of power, noble heroes.
Oh, then yes.
This event we're talking about, that was the great pulse of energy that shattered the land.
That's right.
Well, that destroyed my people, our community. It rippled through. So many died and the rest were scattered. And it was your father.
It was his obliteration. He did not mean to harm anyone. You have lost as I have lost, and as he lost. I'm sorry for that.
Thank you.
Petren, your people were creatures of magic.
I suppose so.
Their magic may have been redistributed to all, specifically the Rojan.
Huh. Well, I've not heard of this Rojan either.
One person's fact is another's fairy tale, Petren. A trifling matter. More interesting to me is the question of what powers your father bestowed on you before his passing.
That is a difficult question to answer. I believe I have much power, but I do not know how much was distributed to the common people. My father always maintained that if everybody had power, then nobody did. But he certainly did not leave me undefended.
I see, and you mentioned before that there is no justice. Tell me, what do you describe as justice now?
Freedom and revenge against Wolf Eriksson.
A fascinating idea. You equated freedom earlier with mass execution, unless my maths deceives me. I wonder, does your freedom involve trifling with our fates, or would it involve being far away?
All I want is freedom to leave this antechamber after all these years. I will then exact my revenge on Wolf Eriksson as best I can, and then I shall see what has become of the world that my father created.
Well then, while every sense I possess tells me to both fear and revile you, it appears we have something of an accord. I can offer you both the chance to leave this place and to eviscerate Wolf.
Vander. I think we should discuss this. I don't mean to be rude. Please don't take offense, but I think we should discuss this, Vander.
Vander sends Petren a mental message.
This being is frighteningly powerful. There is no discussion. Do what it asks.
So I look at Vander, and lacking the capacity to do a mental message, and lacking a huge amount of social graces, Petren says, No, you're wrong, Vander. She's a child. I recognise that she's a child who has maintained an unnaturally long childhood, but that's not her fault. In many ways, she is still a child, and she's scared, and she's been trapped in this place. She's a prisoner. We need to help her, and we shouldn't be encouraging 12-year-olds to mass murder. Revenge is our business. We need to look after her and help her, and discourage her from this path.
Out loud, Vander says,
Of course, Petren, as ever your sensibilities guide you to the righteous answer.
You receive another mental message.
When we have destroyed the evils we wish to vanquish, I'm fairly certain we'll find we've released a far greater evil into the world in the form of this demonic force wearing a child's face.
So Petron's going to sort of shake that off, I think, and walk tentatively towards Alexa and say, I think we've got a good deal in common, you and I. You see, I've been in my grove for many years, trapped to a greater extent, not quite the same way as you, but trapped due to circumstance and building up a hatred and a desire for revenge against Wolf Eriksson. So I understand how you're feeling, and I think we can help you.
I would find that to be acceptable.
Can I just do a welfare check on Petren? Is he dust?
I have a proposition for you, as you seem to be the heart of this group.
How long did it? Right you are. Say, and Petren continues to kind of walk towards her, maybe with kind of hands out as a sign of good intent.
Eriksson's supreme power holds me to these chambers, but you can free me. There is a tomb in the basement of Castle Eriksson. Eriksson's brother Sergei's remains rest there. On his stone sarcophagus is an Alokian imprisonment ward. If you could break the ward, I would finally be free.
Very well. We'll do what we can.
Yes, a most satisfactory solution. I feel that our business is all but concluded.
Query. Are there any hidden passages into Castle Eriksson? It is likely defended.
I'm afraid I have not visited there in many years, and I did not know of any when we first arrived in Frost Hollow. You should also beware of the infection that is spreading through the land.
You refer to Aramikos, the great fungus.
Ah, you are well informed. Yes, if we are to defeat Eriksson, obviously we will need to destroy the Aramikos. I should be able to do that if you can free me. It would not be difficult. I know the location of the beating heart of the creature. If we could destroy that, it would remove all trace of it from the land. It is not quite as simple as that, though. I don't know how much of Eriksson's history you know, or where the Aramikos came from.
Much of this history is unknown to us.
Oh, well, Eriksson always hungered for power, and he found the Aramikos whilst out hunting in the woods of Frost Hollow. It spoke to him. It granted him power, and in the shadows of Cantioch they worked in unison, gathering more and more. They looked set to conquer the lands, but some form of unstoppable coalition of nature and unnature. But there were opponents of his who were not deceived. A small group of arcane users performed an ancient ritual binding the infection and Ericsson to these lands. They infused the power of the ritual into a sacred artifact they knew he could never obtain. It is an item he has desperately worked to get his hands on for decades. They allowed Ericsson total control of this region, but while the Aramikos lives, he and it can never leave. It's something just out of his reach. And if we are to truly defeat him, we must destroy the Aramikos.
I agree. The Aramikos causes me as much consternation as Ericsson himself, if not more. It's ravaging the lands around here. It's terrible. It only grows in strength over time.
It's very true, but there is something we should be aware of, that once the Aramikos is destroyed, then the ward would be broken and Ericsson would be free to leave these lands.
I don't think any of us intend to let him go anywhere, do we? I glance around at the others.
We are agreed Ericsson should be destroyed.
My views on the matter are well known, but the story you tell is minus a few salient facts. The location of this heart, for one, and the details of the artifact you speak of, for another.
Those are easily asked and easily answered. The heart of the Aramikos lies beneath a tree in the Dwarven mining district to the north of Frost Hollow.
That's what we found. We came across it.
The blackened tree.
Ah, yes. It is deep below that. Destroying the heart is a tricky proposition, but if I were free, I could do it with ease. The only problem would be that once it's done, Ericsson would know it was done, and he could leave. In answer to your other question, the artifact is the crown of Cantioch.
Ah, were we to know where such an artifact was, the situation would indeed be easier.
As long as he doesn't get his hands on it, we should be fine.
Of course. Well, this has been a profitable conversation, and a pleasure to meet you. We apologize for your guards.
It is no great loss, and two swirls of smoke appear next to her as the two guards are replaced. Please, feel free to use this place as a sanctuary. Wolf Ericsson cannot enter here. In fact, there can be no spells of teleportation or quick movement out of here, so you should be safe for as long as you need. I will know when the ward is broken on the tomb, and then we will truly go to work.
Of course you will. One final question then, if I may. What is it that caused you to be connected to the coffin that we now must break? Who would wish you such incarceration, and what had you done that would cause them to feel such a way?
Ericsson had something of a rivalry with my father. He was aware of my father's obliteration, and he knew that I had survived, and he did not want me free to exact any revenge.
How interesting. Ericsson, in my experience, simply bites his victims to death, and yet, in your case, he chose to lock you in a place he himself cannot enter.
It would be safer for him to do it this way.
I'll bet it would. A pleasure, as I said.
Oh, Alexa, before you go, I'd just like to give you a small something. And he fishes out the acorn that Augustus took from Petren's grove. And he says, I don't have much. It's a small thing, but here you go. It's a token of life, really, and a small piece of something natural. Might help you down here in the dark. Anyway, it's a little something I thought you might appreciate it. It's just a token. You know.
That's very kind, and again, I'm sorry for your loss. And she ties the acorn into her braid.
May I ask you something?
Of course.
The skeletons in the chamber here. May I take the Furbolg skeletons? I believe they may well have been from my community, and in our traditions, it's not right that they would lay here in some musty underground cavern. They want to be given a proper ritual. Would it be okay if I took these away?
Of course. And again, sorry.
Thank you.
And she turns around, steps forward into the mouth of the huge swirling predator, which then disappears back up the corridor to the north. Right, you guys can, if you need to or want to, do a long rest. You are in a relatively safe space where you could spend the next 2 days, if that's something that you need. If not, we can obviously move on and you can...
What does everyone think? I could use a long rest, but...
I think we're up for long rest.
Yep, I find that to be acceptable.
It's either sleep with death down here or face the real thing above. So I suspect a campfire and the appropriate placement of rocks will provide comfort enough.
If you are certain, Vander, my capabilities are undiminished.
Well, my capabilities, I'm afraid to say, are rather diminished, so I could certainly benefit from a rest.
If indeed we are safer down here, Vander reflects.
I don't think we need to worry about Alexa. She's just a child, after all.
Tell me, Petren, have you ever encountered unconscionable evil?
Well, yes, I've met Wolf Erickson.
Strange that your radar for these things could be so wildly off.
Query, Vander, what is radar?
Think of it as a weather vane, Tock.
Can I ask a sort of practical question? How long have we got until this big crowning event?
It is currently the 15th of Lavaton, and the crowning ceremony was on the autumn equinox, which is the 22nd, so 7 days. After 2 days' rest, you have all long rested and regathered all of your spell slots, hit points, etc. And as you begin to pack up your supplies, you hear echoing down the corridor that you entered the sounds of movement and scrambling. And holding Cuthbert in her hands, Seraphina enters the antechamber.
Squirrel.
So I say, oh, Cuthbert, you're back. Oh, hello.
Squirrel, it is good to see you.
Hey, Tock.
Is Cuthbert's a weasel, Tock?
He is referring to me. It is the name he uses.
I'm sorry. You're not a squirrel, you see, so that's a bit confusing. Hello, sorry, I'm Petren. Very nice to meet you. I take it this is a friend of yours, Tock?
That is correct, Petren. Seraphina is a powerful ally and good friend.
Oh, excellent news. Then it's wonderful to meet you. Hello, my name's Petren. Petren Oakflower.
Pleasure to meet you, Petren.
And she looks over to Vander.
Vander, it's nice to see you're still alive.
Seraphina, a pleasure also, of course.
I apologize. It was impossible to send a second message, given the circumstances. And Sir Tock glances around at the room full of bones and corpses.
Truly a terrible place where a terrible thing happened. I'm sorry of your loss of Augustus. He was a good man.
He died fighting the vampire, Wolf Erickson. We have agreed the vampire must be destroyed.
You are all agreed?
That is correct, Tock says without waiting for the others to...
What could possibly be the argument against it, I would ask?
Well, as I understand it, Wolf is trapped here. And we could just leave.
Well, we can't just leave. Have you not seen the state of the land around here? It's all connected to Wolf, the terrible Oromicus. It's ravaging the land. We can't leave.
Oh, I see you have some affinity for this place. and so I understand why you may not wish to leave. That does not necessarily extend to Tock and Vander, however. I could transport you back to the Sterling right now.
I'm not sure you're helping. We've got an accord to fight and destroy Wolf Eriksson.
Noble, as well as polite. Far be it from me to get in the way of decisions that you have made. How very heroic. Very unlike you, Vander, if I may say.
Not very unlike you, though, Seraphina, to write out inconvenient parts of history in a wider tapestry you are more interested in. I'm afraid, though, that this little episode requires your attention also, for the wider forces in play require the use of one of the artifacts we have recovered. You'll find it's very much in your interest to assist us here, I believe.
Tock is going to send a silent message to Vander, just saying, Vander, caution, Alexa may be listening.
Vander doesn't register, he kind of doesn't, nothing passes across his face.
So you wish to take the fight to Wolf Eriksson because of some artifact you have obtained, and you need my help. I have to say, it is quite nice to hear you ask me for help.
I wouldn't put it in those terms, Seraphina. We can assist each other. My reasons are almost purely vengeance. But I assure you that you will have good reason to add yourself to this particular fight.
Wolf Eriksson is a very powerful man.
I agree. It will take our collective efforts to subdue him.
Very well. If that is what you have all agreed, I cannot hardly say no, can I? Especially when a member of the Council of Rojan requests it. Thank you, Tock.
Sorry, Tock doesn't laugh.
But Vander does.
Very good.
Council of Rojan, is that you, Tock?
I am unaware of my position on any council, Petren.
Petren turns to Seraphina as if looking for a clarification.
And she ignores you.
Excellent.
Subtext? What text? Squirrel. Query. The Emperor was in pursuit of us. He did not enter into the city. Are you aware of the reasons? Wolf Eriksson is powerful, yet Salazar more.
While I do not wish to entertain the fantasy booking of who is more powerful than whom, I would suggest that they are of equal power. And if Salazar cannot enter, it is likely because of the ward which keeps Wolf Eriksson at bay within his kingdom.
If Wolf Eriksson was destroyed and the wards were destroyed, Salazar would be able to gain access, correct?
Correct.
I would request transportation to the Sterling immediately following the destruction of the vampire Wolf Eriksson.
I think that would be a very wise idea. Consider it done. I do not wish to hang around and speak with the Emperor myself either. So what is the plan?
Tock will draw the dark blade and wait for Vander to discuss the plan that we have.
You see a flicker of recognition for the blade, but she doesn't ask you about it.
Seraphina, I'm glad you asked. I've been doing some thinking while we rested in this pleasant tomb. It occurs to me that while every inkling of my soul would not wish to release the rather powerful demonic force we found down here, our plan should be as follows. Tock has very fortuitously already lured Wolf out of the castle. With a minor distraction, I believe will keep him busy for some time. I suggest we make our way quietly into the castle, evade his guards, using stealth and guile, make our way down to the crypt, and break the curse, thus releasing a powerful evil into the world. But in this situation, the one known as Alexa will assist us in destroying the fungus that creeps through this land, which is aligned with Wolf. Having destroyed the fungus, we must then quickly fight our way out of the crypt and engage Wolf hopefully in a place with some sunlight. Of course, he will return the moment the spell is broken, but if he ever thinks he is outmatched, he will be free to leave. That, Seraphina, is where I see you playing a seminal role. You must prevent Eriksson from leaving the battle. Otherwise, our efforts may be for naught.
I think I understand. I have a few follow-up questions.
Ah, well, I do enjoy questions from you.
Alexa Storm is still alive?
Yes, and still approximately 12 years old.
As long as her father isn't still alive, I suppose we must make strange bedfellows in these trying times.
I would describe the situation as most unlikely, but you are correct in the facts.
I see.
I think you've got her a little wrong, Vander. She is just a child. I think she's a very damaged child, I'll grant you that, but inside she's still just a child.
Ah, Petren, your ignorance does you credit.
I'd like to think that isn't the first time Charlie said that.
So my role in this would be to make sure that Wolf Eriksson does not escape.
That is correct.
And then you would presumably wish to fight him, defeat him, and then, as Tock mentioned, we would need to escape almost immediately.
Well, no, not before we've destroyed the Oromicus.
If the plan goes as expected, and that is saying something, the Aramicus will be destroyed before we engage Wolf at all.
Query. Is the Ravager airship still in the sky surrounding Lumatorn?
I do not know.
If I understood this correctly, you'll be leaving after we've killed Wolf. You'll all be going.
That is correct. You would be welcome aboard the Sterling airship, Petren.
Petren looks deep in thought.
I have a collection of exotic plants and fungi that I would wish to show you, Petren.
Oh, well, that would be lovely. It never hadn't crossed my mind that we might restore the land and then I'd leave it. I don't know. I'll have to think about that. And yeah, he looks genuinely torn.
Petren, we may kill the fungus Aromikos, but it will take some time for the land to be restored.
Well, I know that, Tock. I wonder if I've got a responsibility to take a hand in that restoration.
I suggest we are all rather optimistic to assume such deliberations will be ours to make.
Understood. Well, seeing as you have a plan, I shall position myself in town and await word from one of you of when I need to keep Eriksson busy.
Very good, Seraphina. Our signal will be the clash of swords and the sound of battle.
Just like old times, eh?
It is possible we could use a sending stone. They are compromised. Would you know a solution?
Well, if they're compromised, we would probably need to destroy whomever it is that has compromised them.
The Emperor Salazar.
It is unlikely it is Emperor Salazar who has compromised the network. It is probably one of his minions.
I would find such destruction to be acceptable.
So would I. Very well, gentlemen. Once the spell has been lifted over this place, the Emperor will likely know we're here. He'll be able to see us. I believe sending messages will be appropriate for quick communication once the Aramikos has been destroyed. We must move quickly, because the moment it is destroyed, our defense from the Emperor will be removed.
Of course. There is another step to the plan we must also discuss. The matter of getting inside the castle. I suspect this is a question of disguises. Gentlemen, if you will follow me, I will show you what I believe to be a profitable beginning to this night of ghoulish chance.
Tock will follow along behind Vander.
with the plan made, Seraphina bids you farewell, wishes you luck, and leaves. The rest of you also leave the Mountain of Everfrost following the long rest and cross the Golden Bridge into Frost Hollow proper.
Now, boys, what we need is a dark alleyway to begin our little plan. Ah!
And Vander hopefully spies something of that description in one of the narrow alleyways in the city.
Yep, there is one. There are plenty of dark alleyways on your path towards the castle.
We pick one that doesn't have a vampire in it.
I'm going to need you to roll a d20, I'm afraid. No, I'm kidding.
If you'll join me then.
And Vander strides into the gloom.
Tock and Tick will follow.
I guess Petren is looking a little confused, but following along.
And now, our disguises will come to us.
And Vander clears his throat.
Excellent. Ahem.
And then yells, "Robbery!"
Sprinting round the corner at high speed moments later are a collection of blue cloak wearing guards. What's going on here? Someone say robbery?
Yes, this way.
And they run up to you. Where? It was a woman's voice, I think. Where is she?
Oh, I'm afraid the robbery was subterfuge, though your timely entrance serves another purpose, guardsman.
Huh?
Tell me, would you mind if I relieved you of your armor for the evening?
I'm not wearing armor. I'm wearing a blue cloak and my best gear.
A minor detail.
And Vander is going to... How many guardsmen have we got?
3.
3 guardsmen. Okay. I'm going to need those uniforms, I'm afraid. Okay, I'm aware that the group would not like Vander to kill all the guardsmen. I think we're going to do this a nice way. I'm going to go for the sleep spell.
Well, they are all clumped together, having sprinted round the corners together. Please roll the... is it 5?
5d8.
Yeah, roll 5d8.
25.
2 of the men immediately fall asleep under the power. One of them looks really groggy with his eyes kind of heavy, but he sways. What's happening?
Tock is going to assist Vander's spell with a mailed fist.
Give me an unarmed attack, please, Tock.
I obviously just trying to subdue him rather than kill him. That is a 21.
Well, it's a hit, obviously, and he only has 1 hit point left. So, with a loud clunk, a metal fist strikes him across the jaw. He spins on the spot and then falls unconscious next to his 2 sleeping friends.
I have assisted your spell, Vander.
You are a fine magician's apprentice, Tock. Finesse incarnate. Now, we have the relevant materials to provide us entrance to the castle, I think.
I don't wish to, and you may not be familiar with this turn of phrase, it might be a furbolg one. I don't wish to piss on your bonfire, Vander, but I'm 7 foot tall. I'll never fit in one of those. And he's an automaton, so did we really need to take down 3 blue cloaks?
Of course, Petren. They are cloaks. One size fits everyone.
As you're standing around talking, you hear footsteps coming from the opposite direction. You turn to see a human sprinting towards you. Alex, please come join us at the table and describe what they see.
Oh! Hello!
Albert!
Hello!
You thought you could kill me, but I'm back.
I mean, you did.
We did kill you.
I did.
Yeah, both of my statements were true. You thought you could kill me, and I'm back.
You bastard, you killed Al.
Welcome back, Al.
Hello!
Or, wait there, who are we welcoming back?
Who are you?
You see a massive human. He has got muscles on his muscles. He is very tall. Some would say rather imposing. Others probably wouldn't say that. He's dressed in simple clothes. He's slightly muddy, but nonetheless, he carries himself with a confidence and poise of someone who works with his hands and is quite athletic.
Ooh.
Oh, we're back to the cynical. I see.
Yeah, I can only. It's a little holiday from cynicism, but I'm back. Vander straightens, having been inspecting the prone figures, and turns in the direction of the stranger.
Ah, I've been told that such bizarre entrances are either a blessing or a lesson. Which are you?
I don't know. What's happened here? What's with all the blue cloaks on the floor?
Oh, it's not what it looks like. Oh no. I mean, it's quite a lot what it looks like actually when you think about it. But they're not dead. Don't worry. They're just knocked out.
Tock will raise a fist and say, Vander, do you wish me to cast sleep again?
No, Tock, that would be far too much. Stranger, you may trust that we are the victims in this little tableau.
All right, we've got bigger problems. Cast sleep, you said. Are you some sort of magic people?
That would depend on who's asking. A name would suffice for now.
My name's Seeksorrow. What's yours? Little man with two giants.
My name is Vander Finnick. A pleasure to meet you, Seeksorrow. A strong name, I may say. So, Seeksorrow, why have you run into what is currently my alleyway?
Fair enough. Trying to raise an army.
Well,
Vander brightens considerably.
would this army have a purpose in mind?
Well, normally I'd say sit down for this, but yes, we have to fight an army of the dead.
And we will end it there.
You've been listening to Dice Company's Small Embers, starring Dave Windust as Petren Oakflower, Alex Morrison as Seeksorrow, Charlie Blackadder as Vander Finnick, and Harry King as Tock, with Tom Patrick as your Dungeon Master.
The humans of Dice Company would like to thank the following sweethearts for their support: Zeus Legion, Zero Nova, Sepulchre Stennet, Marky B, Jenny the War Camel, Stephen Sikora, Nori Gosler, Mickey Arnold, Happy Daddy Scotty, Tika, SJ Phionics, Richard Ungamus, Rabbi Camel, Team Stay Toxic, Path Pursuit, Paris Pakar, Liz Beckett, Julia Zeno, Shovels, Queenie, and a special extra thanks to our very own Council of Rojan, Mama Strange, Axel Runholm, and Chris from North London.
It's like the penguin thing. Oh God, I can't remember. You know, if you want to be in penguin books, penguin's got to be in you.
Oh God! What?
It's a Family Guy thing. I didn't make it.
That wasn't when you tried to get your novel published.
No, yeah. I'm also not the person in this group who's failing to get their novel published. It's a different person.
Came the sound of screaming and rushing wind. Might rewrite that. Came the sound of screaming.
Was Vander up that?
The most violent diarrhea anyone has ever witnessed. 30 years of solitude will really mellow someone out. You really going to pull that?
I didn't say that.
Absolute psycho. Yeah. I'm amazed you didn't just start taking faces.
Just immediately start taking faces.
Yeah. We have got the item of power as well. It would be a great game. If Augustus hadn't died, I could see us just saying, come on, Petren, your life's mission is worthless. Come with us.
Well,
Just pushing him through
the lesser evil.
Lore.
Thanks for listening. Please consider supporting Dice Company on Patreon, where for the price of a cup of coffee, you get access to a whole other show, Extra Roll, as well as an ad-free listening experience. The Dice Company Discord server, along with our socials, can be found on our Linktree in the show notes. If you enjoyed this chapter, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to recommend us to your friends. If you didn't like it, recommend us to your enemies. And we'll see you next time on Dice Company.